In this video, I'm going to be teaching how to make a Chinese collar. Let's get started. I'm going to be using the basic bodies to make this collar. So first thing I'm going to be doing is to join the shoulders together. And after joining the shoulders, I'm going to be folding the front seams inside for the button extension. After that, I'm going to measure the neckline of the shirt. So you take your tape measure, go round it, and then measure. You measure about 2 or 3 times to be sure of the measurements. So go ahead and then measure again to be sure of the measurement you want to use. So after measuring whatever measurement you are satisfied with, you go by it. So I'm using 17 inches. I'm going to be using this medium violin for the collar. I folded it into 2 as you can see. So after folding it into 2, the first thing I'm going to be doing is to pin it down to prevent it from moving, and then mark 1/2 inch at the lower part. So you're just marking 1/2 inch in. Connect with your ruler. This is to serve as a guideline in making the collar. So the width of this is 5 inches, and then the length depends on the size of your collar. This is 8 inches. My neckline being 17, I'm going to divide it by 2, which is 8.5. So on this line, I'm going to be measuring 7 inches instead of the 8.5 inches. You will know why after drawing in the collar. So after marking the 7 inches, I'm going to be going in by 3 inches from the center. So after marking 3 inches, now I'm going to be connecting from that point through to that point, and you can either use freehand or your armhole curve for that. So I'm going to be using this curve to get this line over here. Next thing I'm going to be doing is to measure and then make sure I have my 8.5 inches and then mark it down. So after marking, I'll be marking 1 inch up from that line. Then join the point with my marker. Next, I'm going to be joining that part and then make a little curve at that point to get the shape of the collar. Next thing I'm going to be doing is to cut out. So I guess you know why I didn't mark 8.5 inches but then 8 inches. Since it's going to be a curve, you are definitely going to get your measurements when you reduce 1.5 inches from the actual measurement. So next thing I'm going to be doing is to fold my gray barbs into 2 again like this, and then place the collar on top of it, then press it down. So I'm going to be pressing this down just like this before cutting it out. So I'm going to be cutting out with 0.5 inches seam allowance all round, or whatever seam allowance you want to leave. You go ahead and then work by that. After cutting it out, the next thing I'm going to be doing is to fold the upper part in like this. I'll be folding the other side also in before stitching. So as you can see, I folded both sides in. I'm going to stitch from that point through to that point. So this is what I was talking about. You fold that part in before you stitch, and then after that I went ahead to press that upper line in. Next, I'll be trimming off excess fabric from the collar or the corners of the collar before turning it out. And after turning out, I'll go ahead and then press it again to make sure it's lying down flat. So next thing I'm going to be doing from this point is to fold the collar into two and then mark the center. Fold the collar into two and then mark the center. After marking, I'm going to be folding the neckline into two also and then mark the center. So I have something like this. Next, I'm going to be placing the collar on top of it this way, with right side of the collar facing the wrong side of the shirt. Then pin it down. Right side of the collar facing the wrong side of the shirt, and then pin it down before you stitch. So I'm going to be pinning the sides together, the center, and then any other parts before I go ahead and stitch. So after stitching, this is what I have. Next thing I'm going to be doing now is to push the seam lines or the excess fabric I have after the seam in, making sure the collar is covering the seam line. Make sure the collar is covering the seam line, that black line over there. Make sure it is covering it. I actually use the black thread so that you see what I'm actually doing. So make sure it is hidden before you pin it down and then stitch. After stitching, this is what I have. You can see the collar is coming out nicely. Next thing I'm going to be doing is to press this or iron it down and then show you what I have. After pressing, this is the outcome of the collar. I hope you enjoy these tutorials. Kindly like, comment, and share my videos.